Well, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. My name is Katie Runkle, and I'm the Vice President of External Affairs and Customer Experience for Indiana Michigan Power. And thank you so much for taking the time to participate in today's session, or this evening's session, of Understanding Your Bill. After the past couple weeks of crazy storms and that tornado that hit Three Rivers, we even had snow over the last few weeks. If you experience an outage or you're still working through the damage of the tornado, we appreciate your patience with us as we worked around the clock to restore power. And certainly we are here if you do need support and assistance, if there's work that needs to be done at your home or business that had damage, to make sure that we can get you permanent power in the future. So we appreciate everyone's kindness and support through that time. That was a very tough weekend for a lot of folks. So, one of the things with today is that we know that a lot of you have choices for how to spend your time, and I'm going to jump out on a limb here and say that doing a deep dive into your electric bill probably is not on the top of your list of how you want to spend your time. And so we truly appreciate the time to be here with us, and we are going to do our best to have it be as informational and valuable as possible. So joining me today from the I&M team are Jennifer Gooden, the Director of Regulatory Services, and Mona Livingston, Customer Services Manager. And together, our goals are to answer your questions and provide solutions. And it's certainly no secret that affordability is a big issue for everyone right now, whether it's the cost of groceries or electricity. We've heard your concerns, and we know that those concerns are heightened if you open your bill each month and don't understand why you're paying for certain charges or what resources are available to you if your bill is higher than you expected. So today we want to cover a few things. First, we want to help you understand the different line item charges on your bill, what they are and why they're there. Share some basic troubleshooting steps that you can walk through if your bill is higher than you expected, and some things that our team can assist you with as well. And then cover some of the different ways that we can help you save, whether it's our various rate options, programs that help you save energy and money, or payment plans and assistance options. There will also be some time for us to answer questions, so you can use the chat function to type those in, and we'll get to as many as we can. And for those that we can't answer today, we will get a response back to you following the session. And for the sake of time and to best serve you, we won't be able to address individual customers' bill questions during today's session. But later in the presentation, we'll be offering a link that you can use to book a meeting time with an I&M customer service representative to discuss your specific billing question if you'd like. So let's get started by walking through a typical I&M bill for a Michigan customer. And so I'm going to call Mona and Jennifer back here in a little bit, and we're going to start going through the bill. So this is a standard first page of a Michigan bill, residential bill. And on the left-hand side, under your name and address, you'll see how many days you were billed for. And we call that, you'll also hear it called your billing cycle. And it also has a summary of charges. And the charges are split into 3 categories in that pie chart there. So that largest blue section, that's electric service, and that's the cost of producing electricity and delivering it to your home. Then the second is the monthly service charge, which is a flat monthly fee that pays a portion of the cost of meters, poles, billing, and other what we call fixed costs. And then the last section is taxes and fees. And these are pass-through charges from government agencies. Now, in the middle of the pie chart, you'll see actual energy use, and that's written as kWh. And this is the amount of electricity consumed during your billing cycle, which we measure in kilowatt hours. And then right below that, you see your current charges for the billing cycle. Now, the majority of your bill, the majority of the charges on your bill are based on your usage, which we measure in kilowatt hours, as I mentioned. Now, to the right of the first page, you can find your usage history. So you'll see that little bar chart down there by the pie chart. And this is a summary where you can see your current month's usage compared to previous months. And this graph helps you identify how your energy use changes month to month, especially as seasons or as your household activities shift. And it also helps you compare current usage to past months so that you can see if there are any trends going on, unusual spikes, etc. This just gives you clear insight into why a bill may be higher or lower. And Mona will talk about that a little bit more here in just a minute. Now, there is a more detailed view of these charges contained on page 3 of your bill. And in Michigan, your current charges are made up of a number of line items which add up to your total balance due. So we'll take a look at this section, the section should say line item charges, or current I&M charges. And so this section often begins with a box, or sorry, it does say the line item charges on the top, and then we have the section begins with a box that says previous charges. And those are obviously the charges from the previous month if you were a customer with us in that prior month. And then also any previous balances will be noted in this box as well. Then the next section is current I&M charges. And these are the line items which add up to your total balance due. Now there are 3 items that contain what we call your base rate. And so I'm going to go a little bit out of order on these just for a second, just to explain this. So there's 3 line items, and those are the power supply services, a portion of delivery services, and the monthly service charge. So those are what, when you hear us say base rate, that's what encompasses the base rate. And this is the bulk of what you pay for electric service. It covers the power generated at the power plants and then everything needed to get it to your home or business. So poles, wires, meters, billing, customer service, etc. And I'll explain those in more detail in a moment. Now we always get the question, why are they split out like that? Why not just have them all as one kind of base rate line? And Michigan does have an option for customers who choose a different provider for their power supply services. And there's that option. It's up to a certain load cap. So Michigan has a cap on how many customers can be in that based on load. Therefore, for some customers that are in that program, this line item will be a different provider. And that's why we have to break it out from the delivery charges. So now I'll get into the details by going line by line. And besides the monthly service charge and the low income assistance fund charge, all other line items are based on how much energy you use. So the first line item, as you see here, is the power supply services charge. As mentioned, this is part of your base rate, and it covers the cost of generating energy at our various generation facilities. It also covers transmission costs related to moving electricity from those generation facilities to our system, to the distribution system. Now, the exact amount per kilowatt hour that I&M charges customers to cover these costs is determined by the general rate authorized by the Michigan Public Service Commission, or MPSC. And as I mentioned, that's part of your base rate. Now, the next line is called the power supply cost recovery. And I know it gets very confusing for people because there's 2 lines that say power supply. But this one is different than the one above it. So this power supply cost recovery is a rider, and it's a state required charge that adjusts the actual cost of supplying electricity each year. So it's a pass through, meaning I&M doesn't earn any money on it. Whatever we pay, you pay. So that line above it, your normal power supply services rate, covers the basic cost of generating electricity, but it's only updated every few years during a full rate review. So in between those reviews, there are certain costs that can change a lot. Fuel prices, buying extra power when usage spikes, or environmental compliance costs. And so state rules allow this charge to be adjusted annually to reflect the actual booked costs of fuel, transportation, environmental handling, purchase power, and transmission service. Now, I&M has to file a detailed report with the state in order to adjust this rate. And then the state verifies that customers were charged the correct amount. And if it was too much collected, customers receive a refund or a bill credit, including interest. If too little was collected, I&M recovers the difference. And this ensures that customers pay what power supply actually costs. Now, the next line item is called the rate realignment surcharge and credit. This has a complicated name, but we'll go ahead and define it. So this rider is mandated by Michigan state law, and it is a gradual adjustment of costs between different customer types. We call those customer classes. And it's just a way to say the different types of customers, so residential, industrial, and commercial customers. This is intended to ensure that customers pay the true cost of providing service to their customer class and that one class isn't subsidizing the other. And this can result in either a charge or a credit on the bill. Now, the next line item is called delivery services. And this one sounds simple. It's a little bit shorter name, but has a complicated structure. So we're going to go through each part. And this charge consists of two parts. So part one is the cost of delivering or distributing energy to your home or business. And this is that part of the base rate that I mentioned. So there's the power supply, that very first charge. Then this is the delivery services. The part one of delivery services is part of the base rate. Typical delivery costs include items like transformers, poles, and low voltage wiring, among other things that are part of our infrastructure. This is also one, well, so all of these get approved and reviewed by the Michigan Public Service Commission, but this one in particular is part of the base rate that we review, that we go through. Now let's talk about part two of delivery services. So part two is the energy waste reduction surcharge. And energy waste reduction is just a fancy way of saying saving energy. So you'll hear it referred to as energy efficiency. There's also demand response. So those two items typically cover energy waste reduction. Michigan law requires utilities to achieve specific levels of customer energy savings each year. And so the state of Michigan oversees and administers the energy efficiency programs on behalf of I&M and then charges us for our share of the program costs, which then flow through to customers as a pass-through rate or charge. So unlike part one of the delivery services, this is not considered part of the base rate and is an additional fee. Now the next line item is the monthly service charge. And I mentioned this a little bit before with the pie chart. This one is a lot more straightforward, and it is just a set monthly fee that every customer pays for providing electrical services. Now, unlike the previous items we discussed so far, this one is not based on usage. So every customer pays this regardless of their usage. Then the next line item is called the Low Income Energy Assistance Fund. This too is a set monthly fee, and it's a state mandated surcharge to fund Michigan's Low Income Energy Assistance Fund. And this helps income eligible households pay their energy bills. And again, every customer pays this set monthly fee regardless of usage. And then finally, we have the state sales tax. Now this is a percentage of the cumulative total of all the other line items, which is determined by the state of Michigan to help fund essential public services. It's a pass-through on your bill, and it's similar to the sales tax that you pay on other goods and services. So it's also important to realize, and I mentioned this before, is that I&M can't change these rates on our own. If a change is needed, we have to file a formal request with the Michigan Public Service Commission. For example, I mentioned those three areas that were the base rates: the power supply charge, the delivery services, and then the monthly service fee. Those are part of the base rate, and we update that usually every 2 to 3 years. So we forecast out what we think our costs and revenues will be through a certain period of time. And then the commission, the Michigan Public Service Commission, then takes a look at everything. And the process works a lot like a court case. So a judge presides over the proceedings, and all of our costs, revenues, and the overall impact on customers is reviewed. It also includes opportunities for the public to share input. And after all the evidence and information is reviewed, then the commission determines the base rate recommendation, and commissioners vote on that recommendation. And then that is when any change can take place with the base rate. And it is whatever the commission decides it is going to be. It's a bit easier to forecast out costs like poles and meters because we know what those will be. Those are usually pretty set costs. But there are some costs like fuel that can change dramatically over a several year period. Think about gas prices, how often those change. And so same thing with fuel costs. And that's why the other line items on your bill exist, the riders. They allow us to reflect more realistic charges or credits for the more variable costs. Those are all reviewed and approved by the commission before I&M can make any changes as well. But even with the information that I just shared with you about the different components of your bill and the process for determining rates, we know that many of you are still wondering why your current bill may be higher than usual. And that's why we want to walk through some simple steps that you can take to understand what's driving those changes. And so to help with that, I am going to turn it over to Mona. So Mona, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Katie. I know that was a lot of information, but we hope that it helps you give a clearer picture of what's on your bill and why things might look the way they do. I'm Mona Livingston, and I lead our customer service team. My team talks with customers every single day about their bills, what feels confusing, what came as a surprise, and what might be causing those month-to-month changes. So I would like to walk you through some of the same simple steps we use when we are helping customers figure out why a bill might be higher than usual. The very first thing we look at is the energy usage, how it compares to last month, and how it compares to the same time last year if you've been in your home for a while. You can see all of this on your online account as well. There is daily usage, cost by day, and even the daily temperatures, so you can get a complete picture. Now, if our team members notice that your usage is higher, that's where we focus. If it's not, we look at other possibilities, like did the billing cycle happen to have more days in it, or if any rate change went into effect. When usage does go up, we start with the most common reasons. And the most common reason is extreme weather. Heating and cooling are usually the biggest part of your energy use. And even if your thermostat never changes, your systems have to work much harder when the temperature outside is way above or below what you set inside. Our team members also talk through any changes that may have happened recently at home. Maybe more people are staying there, maybe someone recently started working from home, or maybe certain appliances are being used more often. And sometimes the cause is something small and it's easy to miss. We have helped customers discover things like a clogged dryer vent that made the dryer run much longer than normal, an oven that was beginning to fail and was using more electricity than it should, or heating systems stuck on emergency or auxiliary mode during cold weather. Now, unless you've opted out, your home has a smart meter, which means you can actually check your usage in 15-minute increments online. Again, if you have questions, our customer operations center is available 24/7, and that number is on the screen right now. You can also chat with the customer service agent on Facebook or send us an email at imcustomerservices@aep.com. Recently, we've added a new option where you can now schedule a virtual appointment with a customer service team, I&M customer service team member. And for your convenience, the QR code is on that screen and it'll take you straight to the booking page. You can also find that link on our homepage, indianamichiganpower.com. We are here to help you identify ways to save, whether that's switching to a different rate, joining a program that can help you lower your bill, or earn you credits. And Katie will walk you through those options next. And just a quick reminder, if you have questions during the town hall, please feel free to drop them in the chat. If you have a question about your specific account or bill, please reach out to our customer service team member directly so we can give you the personalized support you need. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Katie so she can talk about the different options we offer to help make paying your bill and saving money easier.
Great, thank you, Mona. So we know that your energy costs can impact household decisions each month. And so we want to make sure we're leaving plenty of time for any questions. But there are a few things I want to touch on first as far as programs that we offer, and we'll divide them into two categories. So there's programs that help you pay your bills, and then those that help you save energy and money. So when it comes to paying your monthly bill, you have options available for support. So we have payment programs that are open to all customers. and we offer flexible payment options, including a payment extension, which may be the right option if you just need a few extra days to pay your bill in full. We also have payment arrangements, and those are available to help spread payments out over a few months. Now, we always encourage anyone, if you think that you're going to have trouble paying your bill, please reach out to us before your bill is due, and we can look through those different options and see what support may be available to you. And then in Michigan, we also have 2 assistance rates. We have I&M Senior Citizen Discount, which provides Michigan customers age 65 or older who use under 900 kWh per month with a 50% discount on the monthly service charge, and then a reduced rate for usage up to 900 kilowatt hours. Anything over 900 is at a much higher rate than our normal base rate. So it's an important one that you want to keep that usage under the 900 kWh. I&M also offers a monthly bill credit to income qualified customers. And then the state of Michigan also offers several assistance programs, and all of that is located on our website to check those out. You can enroll in the average monthly payment plan as well, which is, we love our acronyms here in the utility world, so we call it AMP. And this spreads your energy costs over the entire year. So you pay about the same each month, and then any difference between what you paid and your actual usage is tracked and adjusted over time. Now, if you want to help someone else with their monthly bill, you can also do that through our Friends and Family Direct program. No account number is required. You decide the amount to give, and your loved one's account will be credited immediately upon receipt. And then almost all of our customers have smart meters now. I mentioned it a couple times. And one advantage is that you have more information than ever about how you use energy. So you can review your weekly energy update, which shows you when and how you use energy. And to access your unique report, you just log into your I&M account and navigate to account settings. You can also adjust your settings for other things like being notified of a high bill alert. So then let's talk about some of the programs that help you save money and energy at the same time. So for our Michigan customers, we partner with the state of Michigan and Efficiency United to offer energy efficiency programs to our customers. One program is the Income Qualified Home Energy Assessment. So in one short appointment, an energy expert will work with you to identify opportunities throughout your home so that you can start saving on your monthly bill. And during that appointment, they may even install a Wi-Fi smart thermostat or other energy saving products at no charge. Now, Mona mentioned the oven that was going bad and pulling a lot of energy every day when it was time to make dinner. So upgrading to efficient appliances and products can also help save energy. I&M partners with local retailers so you can receive rebates on efficient appliances like washers, dryers, refrigerators, and smart thermostats with the Energy Star logo. And then if you need to get rid of an older, less efficient appliance, you can recycle that item. So you can schedule a time to have it picked up and you can earn rebates towards your new Energy Star appliance. And if you have a smart thermostat, we also have a program for that. You can earn bill credits when you shift energy use away from peak times when energy use is highest. So there are so many different options to save energy and money, and you can learn more by going to our website. Speaking of which, I want to highlight an area that we have created for our website that we're going to launch soon to make it easier to find information, because we know there's a lot of information on our website, but it's all spread out and sometimes hard to find what you're looking for. And so now we're going to have our Bill Support Center. And this is where you can find information on everything that we've covered here today and more. It's also where you'll be able to learn about different rate options and make sure you're on the best one for you and for your lifestyle. You can also view a new page that we've created, and that's the quarterly rate snapshot for Michigan. So earlier we walked through the various rates that add up to your monthly bill. In each quarter, we're going to post updated information about those rates on our website so that you can see how things are changing. So you can see, did they increase? Did they decrease? Did they stay the same, and why? And then what impact did that have on an average monthly bill? And we created this because we know people have questions. They want to have better insights into what is actually happening with their bills, and you deserve to have that insight. So we wanted to provide a place where we're putting that information out there so you can see it. All right, so I know we went through a lot of information. And there were a lot of questions that were sent in advance as well from people that had registered for this. So we want to make sure to get to some of those as well. But certainly if you do have questions, please put them in the chat, and we will make sure to get to those and prioritize those questions that you're asking here live. But let's go ahead and jump in. So first, and I'm gonna actually, and I forget this every time, is to call Mona and Jennifer back. So thankfully they know they're on top of things. So they're gonna help answer these questions as well. So one of the questions that we get asked this a lot, is how can I lower my winter electric bill in an old house, near the lake with a new heat pump? So Mona, do you want to answer that one?
Sure. Thanks, Katie. So the first thing I would say is definitely track your usage. And if it's an older home, you may really benefit from doing some weatherization work. And you may need to have more insulation. You can also check for air leaks, furnace filters. Those are the top items that come to mind. But again, if you want us to take a deep dive into your account with you and try and track down what is causing the energy drain or the excessive usage, please reach out to our team. We are happy to help you. We are happy to walk you through our questions and try and find out the root cause of the extra energy.
Right. And then another question kind of in that same energy usage side of things is, there was a question about, do I have access to my previous bills via the website, and are they printable? Mona, do you want to take that one as well?
Sure. Yes, you do have access to your previous bills, and they are printable. You can access the past 12 months. So you could go all the way up to March of 2025. But if you were trying to get a bill from January of 2025, again, just reach out, send us an email, and we're happy to get that to you. But those older bills are not available on the website.
Great. And then this was the last question that we got in advance that we want to go through, but I do want to make sure that everyone knows that have joined that this will be our last question unless we get any other questions live. So please make sure you're entering them in so that we can get it before we close out the webcast. So one of the questions that we get a lot from customers recently is that there are a lot of questions about our plans to request a rate reduction in Indiana. So we just recently announced that we do plan to file a rate reduction in base rates this summer in Indiana. And so a lot of customers obviously have said, well, what's going on in Michigan? What are you doing there? And so I want to cover this in a couple different parts. So first is around growth. So one of the reasons why, and we put this in our announcement as well in Indiana, one of the reasons why we can reduce rates, base rates, and then also we're looking to freeze those and some of the other non-fuel rates is because of load growth. And so, one of the things with our rates is I mentioned those fixed costs earlier. So wires, poles, those types of things, and those are included in our base rate. So when you have load growth or you have more customers to spread those costs around, that actually it helps everyone, right? It benefits everybody to spread those costs among more customers. I equate that to like if you were to go out and you buy a large pizza, that pizza is the same cost, same amount of pizza, but obviously it's going to be more expensive if you're the only one paying for it versus inviting 5 of your friends over and being able to split that 6 ways. And so it's the same thing with our system. We have these costs that we have to put into and invest in our infrastructure. And so having those spread among more load is helpful. And so that is the reason there. Now in Michigan, we're not seeing that level of load growth. And so what we, obviously all the time when we're looking at investments, we're looking at what is the impact on bills, just double checking to see where our bills at, what is that impact overall going to be, and trying to keep rates as low as possible for our customers. So that is something we do no matter what. But in Michigan, we haven't seen as much load growth, so any of those fixed costs are spread amongst the same kind of essentially number of customers that we have. However, obviously, large load customers, data centers, et cetera, are looking at all sorts of different places. So we want to make sure that if we see additional large load and load growth happening in Michigan, that we're ready for it and that our current customers can take advantage of the benefits that come with it and are also protected from, from any investments and things like that, that those large load customers need us to make, that they are covering those costs. And so we have a large load tariff that we filed about a year ago or at least got approved about a year ago in Indiana. And we have filed that in Michigan as well. And so we're going through that process now. And again, the goal is that we can share those benefits through that tariff and really sets the rules of the road basically for any data centers or large loads that come into Michigan. We don't have any plans right now to update the base rate in Michigan. So it is the same base rate as we mentioned that usually updates about every 2 to 3 years. And so, as far as that rate, those are staying the same until we do a rate review sometime in the future. So that is the reason. Jennifer, Mona, anything else you want to add on that question?
I think you did a great job covering that, Katie. Thank you.
Great. So it doesn't look like we have any other questions. So I just want to thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it. I know it is, again, as I mentioned, it's probably not the top of your list to go through your electric bill with your utility, but we do appreciate you spending the time and we want to make sure we're getting this information out because we know that the bills and all the charges and all that can be very confusing. And so we want to make sure that we're helping you understand what it is you're paying for and why. And so certainly if you have any questions after the fact, make sure that you can either reach out to us, via social media. You can give us a call in our call center and email IM customer services, if that's an easier way, or certainly schedule a virtual appointment with our team members to walk through your specific bill. And so thank you so much. And we're always here to help support anything that you need, because that is why we're here, is to support our customers and serve our customers. So thank you very much. Hope you have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of the week. Take care.